But when I've talked to Nate in the past, he said to me that, going out on the freeway was something that they were trying to avoid because he knows that every person who is stuck in that traffic is someone who is probably not going to be a supporter of theirs anymore. So, something had to have happened Friday for them, for the family, for Nate and Maria to go ahead and go out with the rest of the protesters out onto the freeway.
Currently, it is a balmy 29 degrees, but the feels like temperature more like 19. The Government Accountability Board has finished its review of the recall signatures and has certified a historic 6 recall elections. On his way to pick up his son, he got a call saying his house was on fire. A fast-acting deputy says he's no hero. Earlier today, the snow was just perfect for making snowballs. Of course, as it's getting colder, the snowball making isn't as great, but I'm going to keep working on it. Well, just a couple of weeks ago, the race looked like a dead heat. Most of us, myself included, have enjoyed this winter so far because it's been so nice and warm. Not these guys. They're excited that it's finally snowing. Tom Petri held this seat for 35 years, a Republican. I'm joined now with the Democratic candidate.
Oh my God, I don't know the address, but somebody just hit a person. They have somebody stuck in their windshield.
That guy was Stephen Gove. Here he sits in his apartment with just a scratch on his head that didn't even need stitches.
I was just pedaling along, thinking about having some pea soup, and next thing I know, I'm in somebody's car.
It was just about 8:30 Saturday night, and Gove just finished his paper route. He didn't hear the car coming up behind him, and even though Gove was wearing the safety vest, the driver hit him. Gove blacked out for a moment after the impact, and when he woke up, he was inside the car.
I said, "Hello, you just hit me with your car on my bicycle." He didn't say anything.
He explains the 20-year-old Manitowoc man kept driving and parked a few blocks later. The driver then got out of the car and locked the doors from the outside.
And he looked in and he said, "Well, who are you? What are you doing in my car?" I said, I told you, I'm the guy that you hit on the bicycle.
Gove is just as surprised as the rest of us that he's sitting here telling his story.
God's watching out for me.
Thankful as he is, he doesn't hate the driver who hit him. No ill will towards him at all?
No, not at all. No, I don't feel any ill will towards him.
Gove tells me he feels extremely lucky, and now he's in the search for a new bike so he can continue doing his paper delivery route. In Manitowoc, Lacey Crisp, today's TMJ4. Well, there's no doubt that this school has spirit, and when they found out one of their own was battling cancer, they decided to do everything they can to help him.
What's up, guys?
It doesn't take long to see how much Whitnall Middle School students love their janitor, Joe Lassiter.
Joe's such a great help, and everyone in the school loves him, so we want to see him get better.
Last fall, Lassiter was diagnosed with stage 3 prostate cancer.
I have cried here more than I have cried in my whole life because of the support.
He started treatment in October and came back to quite a surprise.
These kids made this collage, helping hands for a helping man.
The kids and staff didn't want to stop there.
He's going through a lot, and for him to keep that smile on his face and care about the kids as much as he does it's exciting.
For the past 8 years, the school has hosted a walkathon to benefit different nonprofits.
This year it's a little bit closer to home.
The funds this year will go to the Cancer Center of America, where Lassiter gets his treatments.
To have kids come out of their box, more or less, to give me support, a custodian.
Lassiter explains every day he feels better and better, and it's all thanks to the school.
To have the school and the staff love and support, it's just hard to describe.
And their goal is to raise $5,000. The walkathon will happen on May 30th. Reporting in Greenfield, Lacey Crisp, today's TMJ4. Heroin has robbed her of her life. Cassie Nygren has spent more than 4 years of her life behind bars. Her struggle has fueled her father to make changes in her life and possibly even the life of someone you know.
I had a good childhood.
Growing up, Cassie Nygren had 2 parents who loved her. But she adds she was sexually abused by a family member and started drinking and smoking weed. She became pregnant at the age of 15. She gave that daughter up for adoption.
After she was gone, I ended up in a relationship where I was introduced to Oxycontin, and I snorted about 20 milligrams, and I fell in love right away.
But she soon learned heroin was cheaper and easier to get.
I still remember the day I first tried it. I was snowmobiling and I felt like I was on top of the world.
Soon, she was at bottom. She'd been arrested for possession of heroin and had only been out of jail for 2 days when she overdosed.
Because I wanted to make sure I was good and high.
Her mother found her purple on the bathroom floor.
She says it still haunts her to this day.
Cassie argues becoming addicted to heroin can happen to anyone.
State representative's daughter, yeah, it happened to me.
It's not what every parent had dreamed for their kids.
He tells me he knew there was a problem when she was a senior in high school.
You know, when you're pretty bright, daughter with a bright future in front of her, it doesn't graduate from high school, that was pretty sad.
State Representative John Nygren is fighting now not only for his daughter, but for the state. Last year, the number of heroin deaths in Wisconsin increased by 50%.
I was not she'd probably tell you it wasn't that I wasn't a strict parent, but maybe the things that you actually pay attention to I think are important.
John has proposed 4 bills he hopes will help those before they were in his daughter's position.
So I see this as a long-term battle.
And Cassie supports her dad's proposal. She wants to go to school and just be normal. But most of all, she wants to get to know the daughter she put up for adoption, who is now 8 years old.
I want her to know I'm more than just a heroin junkie addict.
And while Cassie's future is uncertain, by the end of November, she'll find out if she can walk through those doors or spend the next 7 months of her life in prison. In Marinette, Lacey Crisp, today's TMJ4. They're all set up here, ready to go in Oshkosh, waiting for polls to close. Now, one Republican, Tom Petri, has held this seat for 35 years. Mark Harris is hoping it's the Democrats' turn.
Hi, will you be voting today?
Winnebago County Executive Mark Harris.
Hi, I'm Mark Harris. I'm running for Congress. I'd love your vote.
Is taking advantage of every minute left before the polls close.
Have you both voted already? Yeah. Can I give you a card?
Running to catch as many votes before time runs out.
I've got some of my accomplishments as county executive on one side and my goals for Congress on the other.
He knows it's an uphill battle for this Republican-leaning district.
They really have been elected people from the middle of the political spectrum and not from the far right.
He's hoping to rally the base in Oshkosh, where he's been on the city council, mayor, and the county executive for years.
And it's probably one of the places where you might have people going to vote in the governor's race that haven't really thought about the congressional race.
And Harris knows it will be a tough fight for him. Mitt Romney won this district by 7 points in 2012. Now, my colleague Tom Murray spent the day with the Republican candidate. Tom?